Keir Starmer should absolutely resign. If this was just one mistake, I would say it would probably still be a resignation issue. But we know it's been mistake after mistake after mistake.
So for so long, the Prime Minister has tried to make this about Peter Mandelson's lies. What this shows is that it is Keir Starmer himself who has lied repeatedly since the very start.
Keir Starmer should resign in utter disgrace. New evidence today shows the Prime Minister knew that Peter Mandelson stayed at Jeffrey.
The Peter Mandelson files alone should be enough for Keir Starmer to resign, as the Prime Minister faces a devastating indictment of his integrity following revelations that he knowingly appointed an ambassador with documented ties to a convicted offender and potential links to hostile foreign powers. The facade of the grown-up government has not just cracked, it has suffered a total structural collapse. We are standing in the wreckage of a premiership that was built on the shaky foundation of ethics and transparency, only to find it buried under a mountain of redacted files and 30 pieces of silver. Today's partially released Mandelson dossier is a document of pure, unadulterated political shame. It confirms, in the coldest of black and white, that Sir Keir Starmer was explicitly briefed on the fact that Peter Mandelson stayed at Jeffrey Epstein's property in 2009.
Now, the Prime Minister claims that he was lied to. He wasn't lied to by this due diligence document. And it may be that Mandelson denied these claims. And if so, maybe the Prime Minister was lied to. But he was lied to by an inveterate liar who had been fired twice before. And we're supposed to believe, Madam Deputy Speaker, that the Prime Minister, who was once the chief prosecutor in this country, couldn't see through this nonsense.
A time when Epstein was already a registered offender serving a prison sentence. The advice given to the Prime Minister stated clearly that their relationship continued well into 2011. There is no plausible deniability here. There is only a deliberate, calculated decision to elevate a man of exceptionally poor ethics to the highest levels of British diplomacy. When you combine this with warnings about Mandelson's ties to figures connected to Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping, the picture moves from a lapse in judgment to a national security nightmare. Starmer didn't just ignore the red flags, he used them as a carpet for Mandelson to walk into Washington. Welcome back to British Corners, your destination for a mature, high-standard breakdown of the rot currently eating its way through the heart of Westminster. We provide the peer-to-peer alternative to the sanitized, corporate media cycle that is currently doing backflips to frame this catastrophe as a mere administrative oversight. If you find it galling that a Prime Minister who once led the Crown Prosecution Service is now presiding over a cabal of collaborators, you have found your home. We track the character collapses and the institutional shifting of the UK's power dynamics with a refined, slightly sassy edge that the establishment finds deeply inconvenient. Before we dissect the cowardly timing of these file drops and the £75,000 payoff for a man who demanded maximum dignity, do yourself a massive favour. Hit that subscribe button right now. Join the British Corners community. We are building a movement for the politically astute who believe that integrity shouldn't be a word used only when you're not being watched. Subscribe now to British Corners. You will want to be here as we peel back the layers of what is still being buried under the guise of national security. The timing of this document release was a masterclass in parliamentary cowardice. To drop these files immediately after Prime Minister's questions and a mere 23 minutes before the Commons debate is a move designed to stifle scrutiny and protect a beleaguered leader. It's the behaviour of a government that is terrified of its own shadow. Even more disgraceful are the allegations that Labour MPs were handed a script of time-wasting questions to prevent any real interrogation of the scandal. This isn't governance, it's an expensive piece of theatre funded by your taxes. And speaking of taxes, the fact that Mandelson walked away with £75,000 after demanding £500,000 in compensation is an insult to every hard-working person in this country. The Foreign Office even considered trying to cover up this payment, hiding behind process to protect the man who demanded minimum media intrusion upon his disgraced return. If you appreciate this level of forensic scrutiny into the murky backrooms of Whitehall, make sure you are a subscriber to British Corners. We don't care about the party line. We care about the fact that your money is being used to facilitate the maximum dignity of a man who should never have been near a diplomatic pouch. Subscribe now and help us grow a platform that refuses to let the establishment bury the truth under a mountain of redactions. Your support allows us to keep asking the questions that Starmer spent all of Wednesday afternoon dodging. One of the most chilling revelations in these files is the suggestion that Mandelson may have been shown classified documents as early as January 6, 2025, weeks before his formal vetting was actually completed on the 29th. If this is true, it raises the terrifying prospect that the Prime Minister misled the House of Commons in September 2025. Did he lie to the dispatch box? Did he knowingly allow a man with documented links to hostile foreign interests access to our nation's secrets before the security services had even finished their work? These aren't just big questions for Starmer, they are potential resigning matters. In any other era of British politics, a leader found to have compromised national security for the sake of a political ally would be clearing out their desk by nightfall. But this is the Starmer era, where integrity is a flexible concept and ethics are apparently optional. We are only seeing the first batch of files. Many more are being withheld due to an ongoing police investigation into misconduct in public office. If the information we have now is this damning, one can only imagine the horrors that are currently sitting in the redacted sections or under police lock and key. The Prime Minister once presented himself as the man to clean up politics, yet he has managed to create a swamp so deep it requires a Metropolitan Police diver to find the bottom. If you want to stay ahead of the curve as the Epstein files continue to leak and the calls for a vote of no confidence grow louder from both sides of the House, ensure you are part of our subscriber base here at British Corners. We follow the trail of accountability that the government is trying to obstruct with its weirdly rushed appointments and £75,000 payoffs. Hit that subscribe button right now. The cabal of collaborators is being exposed, and we are the only ones providing the live, unvarnished commentary that treats you like an adult. Subscribe now and join the conversation that Downing Street is trying to shut down with its 23-minute deadlines. The reality of March 2026 is that Keir Starmer is a Prime Minister on borrowed time. You cannot build a reputation on being a former chief prosecutor and then ignore a 2-page box note that screams reputational risk. You cannot claim to lead a government of transparency while dropping files in the middle of the night to avoid the glare of the cameras. This alone, the Mandelson files, the security breaches, the cynical payoffs, should be enough for a resignation. Whether this Prime Minister has the actual moral fibre to do the right thing is the question that will define the coming days. This has been British Corners. We will be watching the next round of police updates and the Intelligence and Security Committee's review of the redacted papers with an extremely close eye. Make sure you are subscribed and your notifications are switched on. Our next video will examine the specific links between the Mandelson appointment and the sudden surge in Reform UK's polling numbers. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and keep coming back for the analysis that gives you the truth, even when the Prime Minister is trying to dodge it.